So if you remember from the last video, we did a gray box of our scene. What we want to do now is we want to bring it into Unity and start looking at optimizing it for Unity and setting up a collaborative so we can work with other artists on our scene. Here you can see a great number of projects that I've already created. We're going to make a new one. And in this project, for the project name, I'm just going to call it Bedroom. You'll name this whatever your scene name is, or the environment or the name of the game. This is pretty much the whole project. But for now, we're just naming this Bedroom. So my location is just going to be C to user desktop. I'm just going to select my desktop here. And I'm going to go ahead and just select that folder. It's going to create a folder called Bedroom inside of here. I'm going to go ahead and create project. Once inside of Unity, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I have all of my services turned on. For example, Collaborate. The way you get to your Services tab is you go to Window, Services. It'll show you all of the services that are available. You want to make sure that you at least have Unity 5.4 or above. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Collaborate. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. What you'll notice is this turns green, or if it wasn't there in the first place, the Collaborate button will appear. Let's jump back into Maya and get our scene. So what I'm going to do here is I have this scene saved in a separate folder called Art. And it's saved as my character Leo's room. I'm going to go ahead and do Edit, Delete All by Type History. And then I want to make sure everything is selected. You can also go to Select All and go to Modify and do Freeze Transformations. Now I'm going to go to my window and go to Outliner. And I want to make sure that I don't have any extra groupings or things sort of floating around that are not doing anything. This is just going to create extra nodes inside of Unity. So I'm holding Control and selecting both of these and hitting Delete. And you can see here that, let's go to maximize this. I pretty much have a clean slate, but nothing is named properly. I'm not too concerned with naming anything for now because I'm going to start extracting these elements from Unity as I go along. I'm also going to continuously build up on this, and I'm going to use these as sort of a size reference. So do File, Export All, make sure FBX is here. If it's not for whatever reason loaded, go up to Window, Settings and Preferences, Plugin Manager. In your Plugin Manager, go down to FBX Export, FBX Maya. So I'm going to go to File again, Export All. I want to make sure FBX is on, and I'm going to go into my my Bedroom folder here, Assets, and inside of Assets I'm going to right-click and create a new folder called Models. Inside of there I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call it Leo's Bedroom. Inside this folder, I'm just going to name this gray box. I'm going to hit Export All. And when I jump back into Unity, it should load for a second, and you'll see that this appears. Now, what's really cool about this Collaborate feature is you can see here that these are green, meaning they haven't been checked in, and that this file can be added with the plus sign. So what I'm going to do here is go to Collaborate, and I'm going to just type in a description. Added Leo's room gray box. Hit Publish Now. If you click on the arrow, you can see the time it takes to publish, and you can see it's fully updated. If we go back to our, if we invite any members, so if here you can see services, you can see Open History Panel. This will tell us less than a minute ago everybody who checked anything in, who checked it in, and then we can also manage who are collaborators on the project. So you can see under Manage, you can go to the Web Dashboard. And actually, we can go over the Web Dashboard a little bit later. And then again, if you go to Services, here's Collaborate. If we go back to Services, when you go back into the Collaborate features here, you can see there's members. And I can add people by their Unity ID who are going to work with me on the project. Another thing is once I add them, if they open a new Unity file here, what you'll notice if I click in the cloud, I don't have a project to download, but they will. It'll say no project to download. You'll see that they get an email saying that bedroom is a project they can do. So once they click on it, it'll upload on another computer. It'll immediately direct them to where to download the project. So let's take a brief tour of Unity. I like to go to Layout 2x3 to reset my interface. Under Assets, let's go to Leo's bedroom here, and then just drag it into our hierarchy. You can see here, if I hit F to focus, it brings it into the center of our world at 0, 0, 0. My main camera is at -10. So if I hit 0 here, you'll notice it snaps to the center of the world as well. Now my scene seems to be a great deal smaller than my camera where it needs to be. So what we might want to do, and you can see also from our shadow, the shadows are not rendering right in our scene. And we have a directional light here. We have soft shadows on. You can see that it's hard to read. So our scene is actually quite small. So if I jump back into Maya here, one way to do this is I can highlight everything, shift right click, and combine them as one element. And I'm actually going to hold X and just snap. I'm holding D and X. I'm going to snap this to my world point here. And I'm going to change my settings from centimeters to meter. And you can see here that it is quite small. Because meters inside of, let's see what the deal is here. Doesn't look like this was added. Let's combine this one more time. This time I'm going to combine it to the world instead of the center, so that it snaps directly to that. Now Unity is in meters, so if I scale this up, and now when I hit W and I go to File, Export All, oops, we want to make sure we freeze transform, otherwise it won't read it. So I'm going to hold spacebar down and go to Modify, Freeze Transformations. I just find it easier to work inside the view. And I'm going to go to File, Export All. Select that same gray box, hit Yes. Looks like I've got this plane in here. I just have a plane sort of representing that area. So if we jump back into Unity, you'll see that it'll scale up the size, and we get more accurate shadows, because now that grid faces meters. So a couple quick options. As you can see, this is your game view, just a little rundown. It does everything that's attached to the camera. We're going to be using a first-person controller for now to look around our scene. And then we have our scene view. We have our hierarchy, which has a list of assets that are in our scene. And then we have our assets folder. Now notice that our scene updated as well. So I'm going to go to Collaborate. I'm going to say increased size of room. Publish now. Hit save. I'm going to save my scene as level_01. I'm going to hit save. And so now you can see that it published everything. And then in the next video, we'll take a look at breaking up and unwrapping one of these elements.